So Tharman, one of my favorite quotes is from William Gibson, the author. It says, "The future's already here, but it's not evenly distributed." When we talk about AI, Singapore has been one of the most technology-forward countries in the world. Advanced industrial economy, 6 million people-ish, 60% diffusion of AI. How do we, if we look at Singapore as near future in that regard, how do you experience AI differently in your country than a lot of other countries do? What are you already seeing happening in the way the government works and the way society functions?
Right. Well, every city or economy or firm that's more exposed to AI is going to face a challenge. We will face the challenge faster than some countries which, don't have the basic digital infrastructure, which is going to be a problem for them because they're not going to be able to take advantage of AI as much. But we'll face the challenge quicker. Our advantage, however, is that we've always faced the challenge faster than other countries because we are small, we are very open, and we rely on technology as a source of competitiveness. So we look at AI, like every other form of productivity improvement, as a plus. And the real challenge is that we want that plus to be distributed up and down the workforce. That is going to be a challenge everywhere in the world. And it's not obvious that we are going to succeed. It requires very active public-private partnership. We always knew that when we talked about skills upgrading, continuous skills training, but it's going to be much more of a priority in the future. And it's going to be more important than ever before. Because I think if you think about this challenge, not as a threat from a new technology, but if you think about it as a challenge of how do you maximize human capital? How do you achieve mass flourishing of a society? It's actually something on the supply side. It's about something you do to build up people's capabilities. If you build up people's capabilities, something works out. Something works out. It works out for them and it works out for your whole economy. You manage to move on to a new phase of competitiveness. So focus on capabilities, even if you don't go about it by way of traditional industrial policy, trying to get an exact matching of demand and supply and thinking you can predict the future.
If we look forward in 5 years, is the Singaporean government going to be as powerful in Singapore, or are private sector companies going to be a lot more influential?
Well, our whole model of economic policy in Singapore was quite different from the traditional model in Northeast Asia, for instance. It was always a model of watching the market, following the market, and allowing the market to work better and faster. So our whole industrial strategy, our whole economic strategy consisted of talking to leading companies, local and foreign, finding out what their plans were for the future, and then saying, let's try and create an ecosystem to make this happen faster and make sure that workers can benefit. So we were always involved in ecosystem building. That's what the government was about. It was never about government versus private enterprise. It was about creating ecosystems where private enterprise can do well for itself, but most importantly, where our people can be part of the prosperity.